Hello. Hi, and welcome back to our channel, Minty and Mortar. Thanks very much for subscribing. We've had lots of subscribers in the last few weeks. It's been absolutely incredible, and some great views as well on our first couple of videos.
We've had like, what, 15,000 views?
We've had a lot of views, yeah, and we're
700 followers.
We're absolutely made up that that so many people are kind of interested in what we're doing. Apologies, like the first couple of videos that we've made, you know, we've been using footage that we've got, and we're doing the best, you know, using our phone footage and things like that. But it gives you a flavour of what we're planning to do. But
yeah,
now we have
we're trying to improve the quality. We've got some proper microphones.
Yes, we have proper microphones now, which is pretty fancy, isn't it? As you can probably see, we're not in Ireland at the moment. This is not our Irish cottage that we're sat in. We are sat in our house in Liverpool, but we've been making plans, and we wanted to share some plans with you. But it's not going to be too much of a presentation, or hopefully not make it too boring.
Might be a little bit.
But
There's a lot of detail
it could
to
be a
get
bit
in.
boring. If it is boring, do post down below in the comments.
We're getting a bit stuck with the design, so really I'm hoping for some feedback and some genius ideas. So this is our little triangle, which we've been calling the pizza slice. You can see Minty just there. That's the road coming through at the north, and the whole thing goes to a point down in the south. We have got a couple of neighbours, which you'll see at the top here. They don't really overlook as much, but it kind of helps it not feel too remote, doesn't it?
Yeah. Although it's very rural, it does. You do feel kind of close to people as well, which is great.
The views to the south, though, are just open fields and hills, and I'm really looking forward to kind of sitting and just watching the weather roll in.
Yeah, we've got what is it? It's almost it's just over a third of an acre, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 0.4 of an acre, I think.
Yeah, which is a really nice size. I don't think it's not too big that it's going to become a problem to manage. And you know, we don't want like loads of room, but this is plenty of room for us.
Yeah, except for the cottage. The cottage is small, and it's smaller than most of the other cottages we looked at. Like, it's a bit narrower. There's this little barn, so that's like a lovely little stone barn. There's an extension off there that looks a little bit wobbly, so that's probably going to go. And then this stone building over on the side, that's been used as a chicken coop.
Yeah, that's the chicken coop. Yeah, so that is going to be in the zone known as Sophie's veg plot, isn't it? So I think that's probably going to be converted into a little podding shed out the back.
Yeah, and then the paddock at the top here. There's a gate straight off the road, so we're going to use this as a bit of a parking area. It'll also be quite important while doing the building, and then eventually we want to have our studio, your studio, my workshop, in some kind of building, possibly along here somewhere. Yeah,
we're looking at building like a shed, you know, like that leans into sort of more agricultural kind of appearance, just out in what would be our yard, effectively.
Yeah, or maybe like a bit of a stone barn, if we can make that work.
Do we? How big is the cottage? Because you're saying it's small, isn't it?
I think the external is just over 12 metres by 4 points something, can't remember off the top of my head. Internally though, if we skip ahead.
I was going to say that it's a decent size on the outside, but the walls are thick.
It's very thick walls, so I think the width here is about 3.3 metres.
Mm-hmm.
And then thick stone walls in this little room. Then you've got the main room with the original bed nook. Initially we were thinking of knocking this down, but we've realised no, we really need to keep that.
Yeah, we want to keep as much of the original cottage as possible.
But there is an outside loo here, and that is more of a 60s add-on. So that's concrete block, that will probably go, but you can see there's an actual little loo in there.
Yeah, it's worth saying that this cottage as well, it's never had plumbing, it's never had water. It has had some electricity, which I think is basically like a switch and a light, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a kettle still sat there.
There is a kettle still in the room. We've essentially got this cottage, and then we've got the small barn next to it. So we've been back and forth on this but we do want to keep the stone barn as much as we can that exists alongside the cottage, because it just looks great, and obviously we want to keep as much of the original as possible. So that leaves us with a bit of an issue as to how to create more space.
So our first attempt at a rough design, it wasn't great. We just kind of stuck a living room off the side, and we lost the bed nook, and we did this weird wrap around the barn.
Yeah, that design, I think that was the design I did on a napkin when we were coming home on the ferry.
Yeah.
After we'd been to look at it, because I was thinking, like, how do we keep all these beautiful stone walls and maybe like put them like internally into the building so we can sort of enjoy them?
Well, the things we've stuck with through, I think, all the designs is having a kitchen diner in the cottage. And that every time we thought we needed to get rid of that internal wall, which might be an issue. But a kitchen diner, like you said, it's the heart of the home, and we want the heart
I said
to
that.
be... Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we want it to be
a
kind of central point.
Yeah, if we're going to have like the old cottage and the new extension, like to me, like the cottage is sort of out front. It's close to the road as well. It'll be the place that we see our neighbours coming by.
We can have a little split stable door here, couldn't we? So you can open up the top of the door.
I can wave to people as they pop round, and everyone will come straight into the kitchen, won't they?
We've got a fireplace either side. So this is the chimney breast, fireplace either side, and then we thought we'd have a snug, like a nice big comfy sofa in there and a TV. And in the winter, that's somewhere to retreat to, light the fire, stay warm.
Yes, the snug seemed to sit right with it being sort of on the end of the house. It's what would have been the bedroom, and being so close to the kitchen as well. It's almost like it's its own little apartment. You can go and get a hot meal and you can take it to the snug.
Yeah.
And like in the depths of winter, we can just shut everything off.
Live in those two rooms, pretty much.
Yeah. So I think a snug, which could double as as a study, could double as a spare room.
Yeah.
I think that would be lovely.
So those features we've kept. Second design we had a go at was simply taking the volume of the barn and extending it out and then linking the two together. So we can have a bedroom, we can put bathroom services in there. This link becomes the front door, because obviously the door in the cottage is small, we can't be going in and out of that all the time. And then put an opening in the gable end to come into the kitchen. I've drawn this with an island, but there's barely enough room to get around an island.
Yes, the kitchen will be quite small there, especially if you've got that opening. I think one thing from this is that entrance, isn't it? Having that connecting piece,
separate entrance
as an entrance on the side of the house.
So we have stuck with that. So that's kind of what that looked like. So this bit is the original barn, and then here is an extension, but it kind of made to look like the cottage.
I think with this one, there's still an issue with room, I think, isn't there, on this one?
It is small.
It's still going to be small.
Because it's a one bed, maybe it's a second bedroom, but it is small. So then we thought, well, what if we just knocked the barn down?
We did think about knocking the barn down. We did have a conversation with my brother, didn't we? We took my brother for lunch. My brother's an excellent builder in Leicester. He's fantastic. You want to look him up. So we spoke to him, didn't we? And we had this whole conversation about like what would be the best way to build and make it a bigger space. And we were going down this route of having a timber frame building that could go up quite quickly. But at that point, we were thinking, well, if we get rid of the barn, we'll have a lot more room, and we can really extend that volume into the garden and sort of like more centrally into the plot, can't we? So that's where we're up to with this.
Facing views across our land, through our property, from all of the windows.
Yes, we'd have a big south-facing wall.
And then this idea of putting the services in the link, that came from the architect that we had a consult with.
That's true, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true, because any link we put into this is going to be problematic because of the angles, and and while that's an issue, it does mean you could potentially have all these odd little rooms off the side where you could put services and little bits of storage.
Yeah,
and
a little corner is maybe a good place to stick a hot water tank, or a cupboard that you can put a washing machine in.
Yeah. So I think this is definitely where we're sort of getting up to now, isn't it? I think having this link, having a new volume built, and retaining as much of that original cottage as possible, that's very much where we're at now. Although we wanted to reinstate the barn.
Yeah, well, not happy with losing that barn.
No.
I think I went back and looked again at some photos and the stonework on it. I thought, I can't be knocking that
When you
down.
see the stonework and you sort of reimagine it, you think of it being rendered with a new roof on it, and the way it sits next to that cottage. I mean, that's it. That's it. That's what we wanted, and it just looks great.
So why not just flip the rectangle around and run it down the side of the boundary? Remember, this is the boundary of the property. The issue there is that the bedroom windows are then facing out over the farmer's field, which is fine. There's nice views that way. One issue actually is that the road is over there.
Yes. I don't like the idea of being overlooked. Also, you got things like car headlights. Although
there's not a lot of traffic.
There's not going to be a lot of cars going by. But obviously in winter, it's going to be dark a lot. The lights will glare, won't they? So yes, and just having that privacy, you don't really want people to be able to look through your windows.
So we thought about doing some little angled windows here, cutting into the building in different ways. And we've got the link still with services in there.
Yeah, we've still got that link, and we generally like this concept. I'm okay with it being close to the boundary as long as the neighbour is. Although, like I say, we're not overlooked. One of the issues we've got with it is maybe this is south facing. There's a corridor running up. It would be nice to have a viewpoint from the kitchen all the way through the building.
Yeah, to get a sight line from here through this door and have that run through. Yeah,
which again makes it problematic. It's a bit tricky because there's not a lot of room, and trying to get a line through is going to be difficult.
And we've left the barn untouched, and we still have the front entrance in the link, but now you go through this funny little gap around here.
Yeah, so
I don't know, maybe that's a bit awkward.
Well, I think it may be a little bit awkward, but yeah, do you want to go on to the next one? Because it's a little bit more refined in the next one, isn't it?
Okay, so we took this one, we used this as a basis to do some designs because we had a pre-planning meeting booked in with the council.
Yeah, okay, so we had a pre-planning meeting. We just with the general concept of the volumes, having those 3 volumes.
And the finishes as well, because
yeah.
We'd not spoken to the council before. We had no idea how they'd react to this. I was a little bit worried about, because we bought the land subject to planning permission. But the seller of the land didn't want to do that, so we just had to take a gamble that we would get planning. So it's the first time we've spoken to the council. I had visions of them saying, you can't do that, you can't build there. But it wasn't that.
That was always a concern, wasn't it? But they seem to be very keen. They're very keen, I think, to obviously that a derelict building was getting some love, and that we were very keen to like I say, keep as much of the original features as possible. They were very happy that we want to keep all the original walls and things. I mean, that might be problematic when we're building. We might have to rebuild the walls or reinstate some of the walls, but as much as possible, we want to kind of keep it as close to as it is as possible. And they were very pro that, which was great.
So the one thing they picked up on was it just being a big wall of grey on the side, which is fine because we just hadn't figured out what we were doing internally at that point.
No, and we still haven't.
Threw that in there.
We still haven't.
So after that meeting, we had a bit more confidence and we went back and did a slightly more detailed design. So what we've done now, we've lost one of the bedrooms from the new extension and we've put a bedroom in the barn. with a little ensuite, which you can just about squeeze in. It's not going to be spacious, but it works.
The barn as a bedroom will be super cute, and people will love staying there. But yeah, I don't know that you'd want to be in it all the time. I don't know, because it's going to be quite compact. But I think as like a little, a little stay for friends, and and occasionally us, I suppose. It'll be a nice little spot, I think.
The other thing that's useful here is we could plan it so that we can do the barn conversion later. So we don't have to get hung up on dealing with placing the floor, lime mortaring everything, putting a roof on it, insulating it, all the complicated things. We can just focus on doing that in the cottage, and then a new build, which should be a bit simpler.
Yes,
An extension.
Yes, a cottage and a new build. But then that leads us back then to the adjoining, like the glue in the middle, which is going to be this sort of entrance corridor, utility space.
So although we've got this sort of rectangle here, and then this funny little link corridor that doesn't do anything, and it has these awkward little corners, I've put in an entrance porch here, which doesn't quite connect up. So here's that design in 3D.
So you got the three volumes. We've done a bit of work on the extension out the back. As you can see, it's not quite just a solid shape. We've had some tweaks and things as we've been scouring around for ideas. But this is sort of where we're up to. So it's a big sort of roof structure with a smaller sort of living structure inside it. So it actually looks bigger than it is. It's actually quite compact inside. And it's one bed with a corridor running all the way up the side. So we've got a line of sight from the kitchen down to the windows, the south-facing windows at the end.
Down through these trees, which is really nice.
Yeah, down through the trees.
That's the kitchen table.
Which would be nice.
Through there.
Because we really want to think about every aspect that we've got available to us and how we can see out and what would be framed. And then outside, under that roof, we've got sort of an external corridor, haven't we? Which will give us some, obviously, protection from the weather, the Irish weather.
So I've added a porch here, but then it doesn't really link up to the barn. I don't know whether with the barn we should move the door, which is a whole other job. There's a funny little space kind of coming through onto the walkway. The actual link section to the cottage isn't particularly thought out.
No,
I don't quite know.
This is the thing. This is the crux of it, really. This is where we're up to, where we just can't figure it out. So, how do we connect all three of these volumes together and have it sort of flow? Because we know we like all of them individually, but how do we connect them? How do we create an entranceway?
I'm happy, the idea of how we've changed this elevation based on the feedback from planning to break that up, I think that works quite well.
I like it, yeah.
If I put the roof back on.
I like the way you can see the bedroom and the bathroom just pops out. So there's a little window at the end for the bathroom, and there's a little window at the other end for the bedroom.
Yeah.
And it gives us that nice little line of sight.
Yeah, and then having the setback, having the cover to create a bit of cover from the weather, to sit out when it's raining.
Yeah,
which is going to happen.
I mean, it's going to rain a lot. It's going to shower a lot, but we want to spend as much time outdoors as we can.
And then even on the kind of the hot sunny days, you get that 1 week in the summer, you get a bit of shade in the living room, having that roof extension.
Those rare hot days. So this is where we're up to. So we'd like your thoughts really on this. We are going to be speaking to a professional about this next week.
Well, we've had YouTube's favourite architect, haven't we, for a consultation?
We have. We're not going to tell you who it is, but they're pretty wonderful, and we're big fans. So we're going to have a consultation next week, and hopefully report back on that. But you know, they might help get us out of this little this little problem. Is what we're hoping.
Unlock something.
Because this whole process, you know, since we put the offer in really, and sort of we were getting all of the nods when we last left Ireland, we've basically been scribbling down ideas and thoughts on how to make this work. And we've done so many scribbles. We've made little
bits of paper everywhere.
We've made little models, which maybe Jess will show us cut into this little video. But we've made little models. We've played with all sorts of different ideas and spoken to lots of different people as well. But we're not quite there yet. And now we've had the conversation with the planners. We're feeling quite sort of buoyed up by it. It's all positive. So it's moving it forward and actually making it into something that's workable and feasible and that we can budget for as well. Because ultimately, you know, we could build the most complicated structure and it would just be an absolute nightmare to build.
It's very easy to draw something here.
Ultimately, we're not looking for a big house. We just want something that want something that works for us. And for it to be as practical, but you know, as elegant as possible, really, is what we're looking for. So, like us, simple and elegant.
Well,
is that more like me? Isn't it?
Yeah, you're simple. I'm elegant.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So, any comments? Nice ones, obviously, nice ones. Post them below. Don't be telling us to knock the whole thing down and build a new building, because that's not happening.
No.
But anything that's going to enhance the beauty and add to the site is very welcome. And next time we do a video, it will be from Ireland. We are going to go over to Ireland at the end of this month, September. And we will do.
We've got a few things to sort out, haven't we?
Yeah, we've got
lay the groundwork so we can actually live out there.
We've got holes to dig. We've got some water to be piped. A few people to meet. Yes. We've got some neighbours to meet as well.
Oh, yeah.
We've got some, which is very exciting. Jess has already made a friend over there, so that's kind of sweet. So we're going to go around and see them. Might even go to the pub. But we're going to get all that captured and maybe make 1 or 2 videos from that. But going into Christmas, going into winter, it's probably going to be pretty quiet because we are going to just be working at plans and pushing to get planning permission. So probably 2 or 3 more videos in the run up to Christmas, and then in the new year, hopefully we'll get going again, and we'll have a fantastic plan. We'll launch into action, and you know, hopefully it won't be an absolute nightmare. So so thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Any comments below. You can also get us on our Instagram account as well, of course, which is Starship Minty, and we just post bits of silly old nonsense and bits of our travels on there as well. Which
we'll probably be posting more on that than we put up on YouTube for the time being.
Yes, but it's been great getting to know you guys.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.